Okay, I see people are coming back.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello again. Yeah, so we need, so Dan, is there a way that we can request more time to begin with? Is that what we need to do or what?
No, not without paying.
Okay, how much is paying? Yeah, how much is paying? Because this is a good thing to know, especially if we have professionals, you know what I'm saying? And
It's about $12 to $14 a month.
Oh, that's
From what yeah, so we could, I mean.
Okay, so definitely, well, you and I will talk before the next one.
Okay.
And get it all straight, okay? All right, let's see, it looks like almost, I know Ginger was on too, but I don't see her come back. She might not have accessed the chat. So it looks like we're almost all here again.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna call Bernadette. I'm gonna call Bernadette again and tell him to try it again.
Yeah, we won't be cut off again because this is our last 40 minutes.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
All right, I'm gonna give her a call. So you guys carry on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm running out of things to say here. If there are any questions or comments or anything anybody wants to talk about, we can.
I don't know. Any questions for Alan?
You guys are all muted, I see.
Oh.
Everybody but Dan almost here.
I'm asking people to unmute.
Well, can you unmute them? I guess you can't, can you?
Well, I can ask them to unmute.
Ask them nicely, right?
I'm not sure if you want me to be unmuted.
Well,
I'm going to mute because I need to see if I can. Bernadette.
Alan, did you say that the East of the Wall is now on ebook already?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's currently on Amazon and all the others I mentioned. So yes, it's an ebook. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Alan?
Yeah. Yeah, Jay.
Your story about the woman that smuggled the baby out in the baby carriage reminds me of the old joke about the guy that kept leaving his work site and he'd have this wheelbarrow full of straw. And the guards would always probe the straw with pitchforks and so forth, make sure there wasn't anything in there. And they did it over and over and over again, and they never found anything. So finally, the guard says, you know, you've done this for months, and we don't ever find anything. And, you know, we don't care if you are getting something, just tell us what it is so we'll know. And he says, what are you stealing? He says, wheelbarrows.
Yeah, I think my father actually told me 20 years ago. But you know, that is obviously an old story. But there are a lot of stories about the Berlin Wall, of course, about escape attempts and other things like that. And although the Stasi were not nice people, they were not perfect. And every once in a while, you could fool them. And they made mistakes too. So people were always trying to outwit them, especially if they were trying to escape from East Berlin and get over the wall to West Berlin, where they would be in the American sector, and from there they could go to West Germany, American, British sectors, or even, of course, some of them went to the U.S. and other places. So,
did you take the famous train ride when they used to come on board the train and check everybody, the credentials?
Speaking of trains, there was an escape early in the game. When the wall was put up between East and West Berlin, and sometimes right beside buildings, sometimes very close to other things. And there was a train that essentially ran right beside the wall at that point, and it was a West Berlin train. And some people escaped by actually jumping on the moving train, because then they were in West Berlin. And there was, let's see, with when the buildings were close to the wall, what do you call that thing where you whiz down a rope?
Oh, zip line. Zip line.
Yeah, zip line, right. I guess at least a couple of people escaped on a zip line because they were able to go from the upper story of a building over the wall and land in West Berlin. So there were all kinds of things done. There were tunnels built. This is a little bit of a giveaway, but there is an escape attempt in my book. And not all escape attempts, of course, were successful. There were, I don't know if they have ever made an exact account but probably a couple of hundred people were killed by the guards trying to go through or over or under. People escaped on a
Plane.
gliders.
Yeah.
Gliders. I don't know if anybody actually escaped using a real plane, possible. But they've gone over the wall, they tunneled under the wall, went through the wall, whatever they could. And these stories make good reading. And as I say, if you ever get to West Berlin, which is just plain Berlin, go to the museum at Checkpoint Charlie and you'll see some of these things that were used in the escape attempts. It's a fun place to tour.
Now it is. Now, how long had you been working on the book? When did you first conceive of the idea?
Okay, I usually say it takes me a year to do a book, from beginning to publication. I don't remember exactly when I started it, but I'm pretty sure it's been less than a year, because I published the first book in the series, I believe June of last year, and I didn't start on this one till several months after that. So it's, I would say, less than a year.
Wow. And then how many, do you have any other editions, I think, going forward, or is it going to be this two?
I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I'm still recovering from.
Okay.
Don't know if you left any cliffhangers or something, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got this now. I have this 2-book series. My last series was 7 books.
Yeah.
This one is now 2 books. So I guess, you know, I could, if the spirit moves me, I could do another one, but the spirit has not moved me yet.
So what else do you have in the works that you're probably allowing yourself a little break right now, but
no, nothing big. You know, I've written a couple of blogs which are essentially part of a marketing thing for the books. They're on Goodreads and on Authors Den, things like that. So I'm always writing something, but.
Have you, Alan, have you ever put all your poetry together in a book?
In answer to your question, Janice, not a real book. I've got a 3-ring binder which contains probably hundreds of my poems, but certainly not all of them. But it's my personal property, and it's not going anywhere. And of course, most of them are also in digital form.
Uh-huh. So that's no.
I want to provide an answer, which is the book called Freedom's Light from Ellen. I think of that as a poetry collection, although it's more of a, you know, it's a book about famous people throughout history, and there's a poem for each one.
Yeah, that is true, Dad. Thanks for mentioning that.
Plug.
I guess you could say in a way that's a poetry book. Well, the first book that I ever published, The Saga of Bill the Hermit, is actually a long narrative poem. Now, it's not in print. I don't think it's ever appeared even on Amazon, and they are almost aware of almost every book ever ever published, but yeah, that is certainly a poetry book.
It's been in our newsletter, I think, serialized.
That's right. Van put it in the newsletter. Yes, he certainly did. Thank you for doing that, Van.
Have you thought of doing another similar to the East Wall, sort of a where people can't leave the country, and well, we know in Mexico they've certainly dug a lot of caves or underground. I mean, have you wanted to include other areas where people are trying to get across? Swimming, we have a lot of people trying to swim. The Greeks and the Italians have saved thousands.
Yeah, a lot of people have tried to escape from a lot of places throughout history. That is certainly true.
Yeah, it's ironic that you have a wall that, walls are normally meant to keep people out. And of course, the Berlin Wall is meant to keep people in.
Well, although they didn't admit that.
Right.
They said it was to keep the fascists from the West out. But yeah, of course it was to keep their own people then. When the wall came down in November of 1989, it was almost an accident. The things have been changing, and it was obvious that the German Democratic Republic was tottering at this point because they weren't meeting their goals. They were trying to bring prosperity in their own way, and it wasn't working because it was more socialist than capitalistic. And finally, and I can't remember exactly who it was, said, well, at this point, we might as well let people go through. And so it fell to almost a single guard. He said, people are all lined up here. What should I do? And I think he was told, go ahead and let them through. That's how the wall was breached. And they went through by the thousands immediately. And of course, most of them were coming back, but they just wanted to go through and see what it was, see their friends in West Germany, or just take a taste of what the other side of the wall was like.
So it wasn't just Reagan's speech.
Reagan?
Yeah, it wasn't just Reagan's wonderful speech.
Yeah.
Tear this wall down.
Yeah,
Well, with Khrushchev, yeah.
Tear down the wall. That is correct. Oh, I'll give away one more thing about my book. It takes place in June of 1963. And as I was coming to the climax of the book, I suddenly realized that President Kennedy had given a speech in West Berlin at that exact time. So I said, okay, my two people here, Liz and Charlie, have got to meet Kennedy. So I actually put that in the book. They got about 1 minute of his time, but they at least got to meet him.
Alan, did you ever see that Tom Hanks movie, Bridge of Spies? I
Yes.
don't know if it takes place during the same period or not.
Let's say, when does Bridge of Spies take place? Yeah, I have seen the movie, and fairly recently, and it's well done. And of course, it's real life. That really happened. The negotiator was a real person. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Very good, very good. I highly recommend it. Jay, did you have a question for?
Yeah, I recently, I guess not that recently, but within the last 6 months, I saw a documentary on the same time period about Berlin and the Cold War and so forth. And in fact, they said in there that Reagan was advised by practically everybody not to give that speech where he says tear down the wall.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was advised not to do it.
They were sure that that would make things worse instead of better. And so
Right.
they advised it, but he was determined to do it, so he did.
He did it, yeah. And Kennedy, whose speech was in '63, June of '63, gave a very well received speech
Right.
himself. He made the famous quote, Ich
Ich ein Berliner.
Uh,
I am a Berliner.
and some
Right.
people make a joke about it because Berliner was also the name of some kind of food. But actually, his speech was very well received, and hundreds of thousands of people watched him give his speech. This was in an open air area, and it was well received.
Yeah. I look forward to reading it. There's a book that I would recommend to you and to everybody. It's a true story, and it's called Agent Zigzag, and it's just the most
Say it again.
Agent Zigzag, and it's
What was the first word?
Agent.
Agent, Agent, Agent Zigzag.
Okay.
And briefly, it was a story about a guy who was a criminal, really, but the English had him in prison, and they realized what a clever man he was, and so they let him get out of prison in order to go and be a spy for the English in Germany.
He spoke German too.
And he spoke German. And so he went to Germany, became a spy. The Germans then determined to, they met him and so forth. And of course, they didn't know he was a spy, or at least they may have suspected it. But at some point or other, they turned him and made him a counter spy against England.
Yeah.
And so he was going back and forth between being a spy for England and being a spy for Germany. And he was so good in the Germans' eyes that he's the only one that ever got the Iron Cross from Hitler personally.
That's wonderful.
He ended up being really, never was anything but a British spy, but it was a fascinating book.
Speaking of World War II spies, we have one living in Palos Verdes. She's a woman.
French woman, yeah.
She's 100 years old. Her name is Berthe Cohen, and she wrote the book with help, Behind Enemy Lines, which of course we have a copy of. It's a well-written book. If you like spy books, true spy books, I highly recommend that book. And
Good.
she is a good speaker. At 100, she's still giving talks.
Really?
I met her about 15 years ago at Borders Books in Torrance, and I have a picture of us somewhere.
Yeah, she's given a lot of talk.
There was a good article about her recently, and I think the Beach Reporter or something, just within the last few months, I believe. Read something.
That's true.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of recent articles about her, which I have clipped out and placed in my copy of the book.
Wow.
But yeah, she's still going pretty strong. She's under 5 feet tall. The thing that helped her was the fact that although she was living in France, she spoke perfect German, which of course, without that, she probably wouldn't have been able to do what she did. So she could go between France and Germany once she figured out how to do it without, getting killed or captured, which took her a while. And she had help. She was working for the Allies. She went into Germany many times and brought back valuable information. She saved lives, she saved money, she saved time with the information she brought back. So it's a good book if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did.
So, Alan, this is a sequel to your first book. Will it stand alone though, or should you read the first one to get any background for this book?
it's certainly not necessary. I mean, yeah, we've got two of the same characters, actually 4 or 5 maybe, but it's Liz and Charlie who dominate the book because they're on every page. And yeah, you could find out about them reading the first book. I should tell you, yeah, you have to read the first book too.
Yes.
You have to read them both, but they're standalones, but they do use the same characters. I liked them. Once I finished the book, I said, yeah, they're nice people, you know, they deserve more airtime. So
You're not planning on killing them off anytime lately, or
no,
good.
if I do a third book, it'll definitely be with them.
Good.
Yeah, Bonnie said it should be in Northern Ireland, but I don't know. We'll have to think about that one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But that's as far as that's gotten.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to find my my photo with Miss Cohn, and I couldn't find it, but I have, there's someone named Alan Cook with Catherine Perlman, and that's me.
Oh, yeah.
Many years ago at the
That looks familiar. Bonnie just reminded me that I have a second cousin living in East Germany.
yes.
His name is Christian. We have met him. He's a big, bluff kind of a guy, but very, very nice. He's married and has lots of descendants. As I say, he is my second cousin because I have a German grandmother. In fact, my father spoke German before he spoke English, because although my grandmother and my father were living in the US, she was really a German. She never really acclimated to the US. And she took my father and his sister back to Germany several times, and they spent fairly lengthy periods there. Yeah, my father would have made a good German spy because his German was very good. I mean, a spy for
Right.
the Allies.
What area in Germany? Where in Germany?
Halle is part of what was East Germany. So all the time the wall was up, Christian and his wife and descendants were living in East Germany behind the wall. And unfortunately, he doesn't speak English, and my German is such. We weren't able to really ask him questions about that, unfortunately, but I'm sure he's got stories to tell. Because he's lived all his life in East Germany. But, you know, what was East Germany for 28 years?
So as far as you know, he hasn't written anything himself about it?
Not as far as I know. Yeah.
Are you going to send him a copy of your book or whatever, and he can have it translated, or that might be something to think about?
Yeah.
Bonnie made a comment in the other room. I know she'd like to give him something. That's, yeah, of course, the audiobook's going to be in English, which won't help him. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to do that.
But your grandson can speak German, so maybe he could translate part of it.
Well, I don't think his German is that good, but I don't know. Yeah, our narration is definitely going to be English.
Well, this has been really good. Is there anything else that anybody want to ask any questions, or too bad we got cut off and on, but
Did you know who's up for next month?
no, I'm waiting to hear back from one of Dan's colleagues, and I figure we have 3 meetings, September, October, November. Again, I want to do a virtual party in December and just catch up on what everyone's doing. And
Did anyone? I mean, I got dropped off twice. I think, yeah. Well, did anybody else? I mean, I thought I was going to be on for another 40 minutes, and then I ended up going out at about 20 minutes.
We all,
Well, Dan and I are going to get together and we're going to work out that even if we have to pay for these Zoom meetings, it doesn't sound like it's that much. And it's a sure, you know, it's much less expensive.
And we could ask for contributions. I could throw in a few bucks.
Well,
Yeah.
we still,
Yeah.
again, we haven't paid. You know, we were paid up in the library, and they're
Right.
going to give credit for every single meeting that we've lost, including the one the first of the year where they had the water main problem and we didn't meet.
That's
So I'm keeping
generous,
track of
yeah.
that. So we,
So if you can, I mean, last meeting, did you have to stop last meeting?
no, this is our third.
No, they gave us a free one. That was
Was that
free,
in?
but it was just out of the kindness of the Zoom company. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm part of another club where they decided to do that, to take money out of the, you know, out of their treasury and pay for the Zoom meeting. So it's just a matter of, you know, administratively, whether we want to do that as a club. Otherwise, Zoom meetings are, if you have more than one person, which I don't know why you would only have one person in a meeting, but you know, it for a free account, it goes for only 40 minutes.
Really?
Oh, for the free account. And then, so if you, so do you know how much it is for an hour then?
For an hour?
An extra hour?
No, they don't charge for per hour. It's a monthly.
Oh, okay.
It's a I forget, they said it's $12.95 per month if you pay on a monthly basis, and or no, it's 14 something if you pay on a monthly basis. It's 12 something if you pay all at once. So
Oh,
for
I see.
12,
You pay like
you can
12
pay-
months for,
yeah, you can pay for the whole year all at once.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if we can avoid what happened today, that'd be great, because that was tough.
well, I mean, it's common knowledge. You just look up Zoom, you'll know all this. I mean, I'm not. It's it's not secret information.
But going forward, especially if we have, you know, speakers from outside that aren't so accommodating, I want to make sure that
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
yeah, guys, we'll get
really
that we'll get that worked out. Yeah, because we do have some
Sure.
funds, and again, we aren't spending anything. We're not having to rent a projector or anything. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and if we could have everybody not, you know, making background noise while people are talking, I think that's very rude. You know, with telephones ringing and that sort of thing. You know, so maybe we should set up like rules for the meetings. You know, conduct rules, and it would be nice also to have the, you know, if anyone has interesting acceptances or interesting rejections, or you know, to kind of do it the way we used to do it with different parts of the meeting. And so with that in mind, I'd like to do a 3-minute reading. Jerry said I could, so I'm I'm going to read my poem to my wife, and she's around here somewhere. This is called "A Delicate and Strong Flower," and this is to my wife on our 5th anniversary, and there she is. Her love is life magic. Her kiss is warmth. Her embrace is the delicate power of a spring flower. She is a sorceress when she wears a black dress. She is Antao. Her kiss keeps me warm like a scarf. Her love keeps me safe. Her embrace lights a bright fire on a chilly winter's day. Like the fireplace in a lodge, she is there for me always. Like the cool water from a waterfall, her kisses refresh me. July 31st, 2020.
That is beautiful, and
Thank you.
congratulations on your anniversary. I can't believe it's been 5 years already.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
Hi, sweetie.
And I know, Ellen, you're Bonnie, she asked you to write a poem about her for once a month, or?
Well, actually for a year, which was certainly plenty. But yeah, for one time is anniversary and Christmas and her birthday, and then a little something for Valentine's Day. So yeah, for a year.
Well, yeah, thank you. I know Jerry said thank you already, but I want to really thank you for all the information that you gave us today in your talk. I didn't know really how to use Smashwords. I mean, I knew about Smashwords, but I didn't know how to use it. So thank you.
It's friendly. Smashwords is friendly, and as I say, they want your business, and they've made it easy to use, and they're good people. So yeah, put your stuff on Smashwords, and anybody who's got an ebook, it's not difficult to go from the Amazon version to the Smashwords version. Just needs a little tweaking, and you're there.
I'm sorry, I forgot how would you quickly define Smashwords?
It's a distributor of ebooks.
Oh, okay, well, I don't.
Distributes ebooks to other places than Amazon, including Barnes and Noble, including Kobo, including Apple Books. You know, places that you know about and would like to get your book distributed to.
Thank you, Ellen.
You're welcome. This was fun. This was.
And thank you, thank you to Jerry for, for setting it up so our next meeting won't have any interruptions, and because I wanted to, it's telling me I have 8 minutes left. I thought I could rest on the largesse of Zoom, so I guess they let me do that for 2 months, and so
now they think
we're working on it.
And they're gonna they've hooked us in.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
We own some stock in Zoom, so we want them to make money. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, again, this is good to know for going forward, and yes. Well, I'm glad everyone joined in that we're able to. So we'll
And
I'm so glad that you're still there and able to work on things. So.
it would be great to let people know if they don't have a computer that, like, I can, and I typically do, I help those people who can't get on the computer. And if they have a phone, then they call me. And then since I have a landline, then they can just listen to it. Because I think some people think this is just for people with computers.
But if you have an iPhone, you can get the Zoom app.
Yep.
So there's another way to do it.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
Huh?
I'm using iPhone.
iPhone.
I got
Dorothy
everything.
is using an iPhone right now to get onto Zoom, so it's possible to.
It's easier.
It looks
Very
good, Dorothy.
easy.
We can see you. We can hear you.
And my wife has a smartphone that's not an iPhone, and she can do it.
Yeah,
But you have
very
to be.
easy.
Yeah.
Androids, yeah.
You got the app, and then you are able to do it.
The app.
I have not done it personally, but Dorothy will be our expert. We can ask her.
right.
I think that's a good point. So to explain.
Jay, you have another. Go ahead.
No, just that Barbara has a Zoom account for her
Oh,
iPhone, but we have to use the computer because she doesn't remember her password.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's all right. Telling stories again, Jay. Aw. That's all right. It's easy to do. At least
I have all my
did.
passwords on a Microsoft Word document on my computer. Yes, I know that's very insecure and dangerous, and but it's the only way I will remember all of them. I know what I need. I need one of those, password apps that just, makes a password and remembers it for you. Yeah.
Apparently, we'd rather not know our passwords.
Be left alone. Aw.
Invasion, yeah, I mean, I don't know. My computer went down. Microsoft said that you're blocked because somebody's messing with your computer. I said, it's me.
No.
Yes, you do have to be careful because that's how they do phishing also. Sometimes you're blocked out of whatever. Give us your password so we get you back in. And that's the end of it.
Well, I have friends who give them, my daughter, who's very smart, she gave somebody her social security. I said, I don't believe it.
Oh, no.
Believe it.
Wow.
Goodbye.
So
Well, gang, we might be cut off any minute now. Do you know how much longer we have? Have you been
Oh.
timing?
yes, it's 4 minutes and 52 seconds and counting.
And
So
Just
4
like-
minutes, and
It reminds me of the old Mission Impossible show.
we're gonna.
They do the countdown? Okay.
And
Right.
there'd be a blinking red light.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, especially for those of you who will be unceremoniously, you know, cut off. Well, I mean, it's happened to you twice already, right? So
But we all came back.
Oh, y'all came back.
We even gained
Yeah.
a few. So
very good.
That was good that it didn't eliminate what I had already put in, so I'm grateful.
right.
You know that, well, right, I didn't know, like everything, experience. I didn't know that just behind it, I could click on, you know, all these different levels. I could click on the link. The link.
So Dan, the link number and the password is consistent then, right?
Yes.
If we okay, everybody, if you just make note, if that
Yeah.
happens again, so you don't have to go back in your emails, just make whatever. Go from there.
Yes. It should be the one that's on the flyer that Van sent out, and he made it look really attractive.
Right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, gang, before we get dropped for the what, third, fourth time or whatever.
Can I ask, do you know, is Debbie going to have the novel writing month due in December? Have you heard anything about that?
No, but I'm sure if you go online, their site, you can access all the information they probably won't, well, if they just don't know, I'm sure yet. So, but you know, the library does have a site and you can go on and they'll inform you what's going on and any possible openings or anything coming up. So.
Well, we have
gang,
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Anybody? Okay, a 2-minute reading. No.
This is our last 3 minutes, so we might as well make
know,
good use of it.
Take it to
We
the
should
end
have
in case.
a lottery of who can guess when everything will open up and when we will be back to the library.
Oh, that might be a good idea. Right. Well,
I'm
before I
gonna
forget,
March 13th,
March 13th, 2022.
21, not 22. Oh.
I hope not.
however the vaccine is coming, because that's the one thing that will at least give us some semblance of, and then to do the tests on that and everything. So, but at least we have this. What if this were 5 years ago or however before the time of Zoom?
Yeah.
And we didn't see each other for a year or however much. So be grateful for small blessings, huh? Or big blessings, whatever.
My husband's heavy into Gunsmoke. And what happened there is you said goodbye to your family and you may never see them again.
Right.
Unless it be a funeral. I mean,
Yeah.
that, you know.
Right.
Like, can you imagine that? Or people who traveled across the ocean in the past.
Yeah,
you know.
that was it. They knowing that would be the last they ever
Right.
saw each other. So, so until that happens again or whatever, again, Alan, thank you so much. This is a lot of information. I look forward to get it to Van also, you know, so he can print up also within the newsletter. And then bit by bit, I guess we're going to get 3 links to our Zoom.
Yeah, we'll get 3 links. Jerry, I'll put them together in YouTube Studio, so we'll just have one video.
Okay, that sounds. Thank you so much for knowing how to do that.
And I'll be sure to put them in the right order.
Okay, that might help. Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be very strange.
That'll be interesting. And people really wonder what we're all about as a club, huh?
Well, here's my note. Let's see.
We need to get people to contact other people. Right now, for whatever reason, we cannot get other people's emails. I contacted about 10 people about this, reminded Dan that we have more than 6 in this club, because he sent me an email with 6 different people on it. And that was good, but we need to do more networking.
Well, we do. We have 100 and almost 80 or something on at least my list. And yes, we need to, we talked about this last time too. We need to generate a roster for those that don't mind being contacted.
What about telephone trees? Like there are about 20 people that I would really, did Ginger ever get in here? Because I saw something about Ginger.
Yes, Ginger's here.
She did.
Yep.